So in October of last year, just a couple of weeks before the election, Facebook took down the main Liberty Memes page. Much like the Cincinnati Zoo took down Corona. And it was difficult. We were pretty angry, and we wanted to get back, and we wanted to get our page back, and we wanted to do all sorts of things to raise awareness about Facebook censorship. And yes, I call it censorship because Facebook takes a lot of money from the government and from a lot of governments, and they take a lot of direction from a lot of governments around the world. They even, when someone posts from a page anonymously, they'll reveal that person's identity to governments who in turn oppress these people. This happens all over the world: Turkey, Ecuador, Saudi Arabia. You post anonymously on Facebook, they'll tell your government on you who you really are, so that you can be punished for your speech. So yes, I call it censorship because they do this at the direction of governments. Can you prove that? I guess there's some cases. I'm not a journalist, so I'm not going to be able to give you exact sources. It's just not what I do. We do try to only tell the truth on Liberty Memes, though, so when something that's not true ends up on our page, if we posted it, we correct it and take it down. We Tower 7 it. They get Tower 7 jokes, we take it down. Gosh, you guys, take it down on purpose. So I think that fighting social media censorship, it's a noble cause if you think that you're going to get enough awareness where these people are actually going to fold and stop censoring you, but I don't think that's going to happen. And so we have to shift our focus, because I think it becomes a distraction where all we do is talk about Facebook being censors, and all we do is talk about, oh, well, they didn't let me do this, and they didn't. And so your enemies rejoice because their mission is accomplished, you've been silenced, and new people don't really care. They're like, this is not my fight. So you're not going to reach any new people with that. And so Liberty Memes in the last year, and I can't give you exact figures, but it's estimated over $200,000 was raised for charity through Liberty Memes. And this was like a myriad of different things, just like whatever would come up, just totally at random. A little girl needed a kidney transplant, and the associated cost, we didn't pay for a kidney. Buying kidneys on the black market. She needed $30,000 for associated costs for the kidney transplant. Somebody wanted to save a few horses from a kill pen. Another lady had some difficulties with vet bills for some of her animals. I rescued a blind cat, and now that's my pet, by the way. His eyes were bulging like out of its head very far, and it was going to die. It was not this big, and now she's really big, and she jumps all over everything, and she's awesome. That was a cat that the Liberty Memes people rescued. And there was a lady who was risking foreclosure now. It's interesting, last night, somebody who had been a professor at Syracuse University, which is a couple blocks from my house, gave a speech, and he said that it's proven that liberals and redistributionists are the least giving people on the planet. And I put that theory to test last year, actually. We had someone who Wells Fargo was foreclosing on. And she was just somebody who came to Liberty Memes and said, I need help. I need to keep my house. And in one sense, yeah, a bank has a right to foreclose on people who don't make payments. In another sense, she was being really abused by this bank. They were killing her, and they were just doing bad things. So we went to Occupy Democrats to give this a little test run. And I found their first post that had to do with banks, because they're all angry at the capitalists and whatever, and I posted her GoFundMe link as the first comment on Occupy Democrats, and that post that they made was going viral very quickly, and ours was the top comment, and it said, help this victim of abuse by wild, unfettered capitalism, and she's going to lose her house if our liberal community doesn't rally around her. It got the most likes. It got the most comments underneath it, and 0 donations. No. 0. And then we're talking about thousands of people commented on this. She needed 10 grand. If they had all given $10, she would have kept her house. So we brought it back to the Liberty Memes community, which is only 18,000 people, not like a 5 million people page. We've only got a little subgroup at this point. And we just used those 18,000. And of the 18,000, there's only like 7% that are actually actively involved in any of these charities. And with that little 7%, it's like, at the time, it was like only 800 people. We saved this lady's house. She got to sing. So, the reason I tell this story about charity is libertarians have this moniker, we have this nickname that we've been given, that's the greedy libertarians and the stingy libertarians. And in a way, we kind of deserve it because of our own rhetoric. Yes, it's right to tell the government, stay away from my pocket, stay away from my money, this is mine, I earned it, you didn't, this doesn't belong to you, taxation is theft. Those are good things to believe. But we've taught ourselves that giving is bad. And I think that's the wrong way to go. We need to go an extra step. Giving is bad when you're forced to do it. It's not giving, you're being robbed. But it's not a bad thing to be charitable and be the people that others like in the world. I mean, I know libertarians don't want anybody to like them. God forbid. But I think that this is a way that we can change the culture. You know, people aren't socialists just because they're bad people and they want to do bad things to you. And people are socialists because we're raised in public schools to be socialists. When you have a problem, or when a social issue that your teacher wants to teach you about, like bad touching, she says, what happens when you're touched wrongly? Go to your teacher, go to a counselor. Those two are government employees. When something's wrong in your neighborhood, call the police. If you're hungry, go to the food stamps office. If you need medical care, go to Medicaid. And so we've been taking random GoFundMes, just random. We don't raise it for ourselves. We grab their thing and just give them money straight to them. You know, for people all over the world who have random needs, it could be $1,000, it could be $60,000, it could be, you know, $500 for an emergency car repair, and we'll just do this for these people. And the good thing about GoFundMe is there's a comment section, and you can say Liberty Memes sent me, or Libertarians care. And these people, I don't know what walk of life they've been, but almost everybody came through that socialist schooling system. And so they didn't get help from the government. The government wasn't there for them, but libertarians were. And so they go back to their church, they go to their neighborhood, they go to their friends, they go to their family, they go to their school or their job, and they say, why did libertarians do this? You know, well, I guess they're good people. Nobody's gonna say, well, what's their motive? Those jerks, they gave you a bunch of money and helped you keep your house. Those jerks saved your life. What's their motive? You know, they're not gonna say that. They're gonna say, wow, libertarians are the most charitable people. And I think that's one of the things that we're doing with Liberty Memes. So now that if our stuff isn't going viral, we don't even care anymore because we've got a lot of people who have come together because they originally saw a meme that they liked, that they agreed with, came over to our group and are engaged in making the world a better place. And I'm an eternal optimist for things like this. That you're not going to get people to stop being socialist just by telling them that socialism fails and is not the solution. We know that capitalism is the solution. We know the free market is the solution, but it's not enough to just tell people that it's the solution. We have to actually be that solution. So that's what we do at Liberty Memes. And if anybody has any questions or want to take a picture or anything like that, I'm going to be next door at the Liberty Memes booth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. We're going to be actually, before you go to the booth next door, we're going to continue Q&A across the hall in the continuing conversation. It's in Salon 14 and 15, so if you have any questions for David.